Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Rob Patry Live Show, coming to you live from St. Andrews by the Sea. We're not really that close to the sea, but if you were in the studio tonight, the air is wafting with basil. Just incredibly beautiful aroma. And the reason is because of my guest here, Chef Alex Haun from Kingsbrae Garden. Chef Alex, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, thank you. I'm so excited. Now, I'm going to start right off with the basil, because you came in here with your ingredients and your tools and your knives and all of your chef's paraphernalia.
Yes.
And then you had a big container and you opened it up and the room just came to life.
I'm fortunate at Kingsbrae Garden. We grow our own basil. We have a strain of basil called Genovesan basil, and it's a type of basil we use to make a certain type of pesto in the restaurant. And that's what you were smelling, that we have greenhouses just designed to grow this specialized type of basil here in our climate.
So do you grow it right at the garden?
We do, in just one greenhouse, just trays and trays and trays of just this one type of basil.
Now, would you say this is one of your favorite go-to herbs?
It definitely is, more so in the last 2 or 3 years. It's definitely become a part of so many dishes that I create, but I still have lots of other favorites that grow throughout the garden.
What else? Give us some examples of other herbs you work with.
Other herbs we have throughout the garden, we have thyme has to be one of my favorite. We have rosemary. Rosemary stays in our greenhouses year round, and I love sneaking in the middle of the winter and kind of raiding. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that, but yeah, definitely.
That's okay. We'll edit that out,
please,
so you
please,
won't get in
please,
any
please.
trouble at all.
Absolutely. Rosemary has to be a favorite, especially you get into the winter months and you're roasting larger pieces of meat. You need the rosemary, but. Basil really just, it's spring, it's summer, it's fresh and it's aromatic, as you can smell the studio right now.
Now, you said you've gotten very interested. I was saying basil, so I'm going to switch to basil. I say basil because of Faulty Towers. I don't know if you know this show or not, but basil, faulty, it doesn't matter. So anyway, I know you've been to Italy. More than once, yes?
I have been. I've been.
Now, is that something that inspires you as a chef?
It inspires me. It has changed me. I had no idea how much it would change me. I'm fortunate with my position at Kingsbrae that I have been sent so graciously to Italy 2 times now, and I've trained in restaurants. It's called staging in the chef world, where you go from restaurant to restaurant and you just kind of, sometimes you just sit there and you're a fly on the wall, and other times you're thrown on the line and just put to the heat to cook their dishes, and you either get it right or you get it wrong, and they'll correct you immediately. And it's been 2 years of learning some amazing cuisine, and it's influenced kind of where I'm at right now as a chef.
And I'm a huge fan of Italian food, and it's very, very regional.
It is
isn't it?
It is so regional. We think of North America, where we have, let's see, our Eastern cuisine, Atlantic Canada, and then you move into Quebec cuisine, and then you go to Central Canada, in the prairies in the West. You're talking about cuisine changes within 100 kilometers. The food changes, the style changes completely.
And why is that? Well, of course, it's an obviously much older country than Canada. So obviously they've had literally centuries to develop it.
And that's just it. It's been centuries to develop these this individual style in these small regional areas. Yeah.
And one of the places you mentioned that you went to was Parma.
Yes.
And you went to, I guess did you go to see where the hams were hanging?
Going into
is that a rude term?
No, by all means, it's a prosciutto. it's the ham. It's the leg of the pig, and seeing it hanging in these caves, and them washing with salt and turning them, and it's a fascinating process, as well as the Reggiano Parmesan. They're washed with salt daily, and it's a quarter turned and flipped. And just so the cheese is aging all at an even level through the entire wheel.
And these aren't things that are done like overnight. We're talking about years and years and years of curing.
Absolutely. You're talking about 2 years really to have essentially an immature Reggiano Parmesan before it hits market.
And then were you able to slice a piece of that prosciutto off and have a taste?
I was.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. I think the the most exciting thing with Parma and seeing the Reggiano Parmesan cheese is the wheels and the cheesemakers and how they lift it up and put it on the side and they knock and they hear.
Right.
And then they stab it and they pull out this little sliver and it's just all by smell, not by taste. And it's a totally other sense level that they're distinguishing whether this cheese is ready or not. Most of us go by taste. They're going by sound and smell. And it's fascinating.
And these things are heavy. They must weigh like 100 pounds or kilos.
Multiple kilos.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what what they weigh, but yeah, you're talking about a wheel like this.
Huge wheel.
Yeah, a huge wheel. Absolutely.
And then so now at the restaurant, do you use that type of cheese?
Absolutely. There, as much as I say, I pride myself on being a very localized chef. That I use local ingredients when it comes to our vegetables and our proteins and our fit. But there's a couple ingredients with after coming back from Italy that there's just some ingredients that we need to bring in. So we do bring in some pecorino.
So you're not using those green containers full of cheese and just shaking it on top of it?
No, we bring in some real Reggiano Parmesan, some pecorino. When it comes to prosciutto, there are some prosciutto places in Canada, but really, if you want to get, it's not the same. If you want real prosciutto, it's got to come from Parma.
As I say over and over to people, I'm from Ontario. We just moved here just over a year ago. And I'm sure people are sick of hearing that, but it's my show and that's okay. And we used to go to Italian places all the time, and there were quite a few local made prosciuttos that were very good. But every now and then you would see Parma ham, or prosciutto. Right from Italy, and there's such a difference. There's a creamy, salty, just I want to cry talking about it.
It's the saltiness, it's the aging process, it's the humidity, it's the altitude. It's completely different. You can do two different things in two different places in the world, and you're going to get two different results. You can't just take the same recipes and make them.
The French call that terroir.
Right.
That the pigs are eating, a different fodder, and they drink a different water, and so everything has a sort of unique character to it.
The French, the monks, when they came from Port Salut to Oka,
yes,
they brought that Port Salut cheese recipe, but when they made it in Oka, it ended up becoming Oka cheese. It was different. Yeah, it's a great cheese, but it's not the same.
It's not the same.
What it came from.
I know, and I found provolone cheese from Italy is much different than provolone cheese here.
Absolutely.
And everybody's concept overall of what Italian is here. And I shouldn't I haven't been over there. Mm-hmm. I've just studied it on television.
Right.
But, and whenever I can, I try and get as close to authentic as possible. But there is such a difference.
There is a difference. And I think the biggest thing is overcomplicating. We overcomplicate our food in North America a little too much sometimes, and you're seeing some really great chefs across this country simplifying, and they do their thing. But when it comes to Italian, it's really about just a couple simple ingredients and really focusing on the quality of those ingredients, and then going to the plate.
Now, how long have you been a chef, Alex?
A chef?
Involved in cooking.
Involved in cooking? I started cooking when I was 12. I started taking private cooking lessons from a chef. I was fortunate that I was close to Kingsbrae at a young age, and I started cooking Kingsbrae.
And was this a passion of yours right from the get-go?
It was always a passion. From the age of 12, I was cooking in Kingsbrae, and when the opportunity came up to come back to Kingsbrae, it was kind of that romantic idea that this is where it all started.
Right.
I went to culinary school. I competed internationally, provincially, locally, extensively, and then I opened my own restaurant, finished with that, and then the opportunity to Kingsbrae came up, and it was just to go back to that.
It was a great moment for you.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. Now, here's a question that I always like to ask chefs or people that cook. When you're at home, what do you like to eat? Now, are you as fancy at home as you are in the restaurant, putting flowers and arranging things?
You know what? If there's friends over, absolutely. Family over, absolutely. If it's just me, there's probably some bad habits at home. You come home from work and you're dead tired.
Yeah.
When I'm home from work, just a simple yogurt dip or hummus dip or something like that, and some rice crackers, and you watch the news for 20 minutes and you crash out.
So you're watching TV and eating. And
yeah, and then it's just you crash out and you get up and you do the same thing.
And what time do you usually get? Like, what's a day of a chef? Take me through that day, because I find this incredible. It's like superhuman.
It can be. Most days can be long. You do get some breaks. For instance, this morning I was up by 5:30. We had to get a pig ready to throw on a pig roaster for our Father's Day.
Which is not a weekly occurrence.
It's not a weekly occurrence, but those are the kind of things. No day is normal in the chef industry. There's constant changes. There's new challenges, and you just run with it. And sometimes those demands end up. You come home at 2 and you're back up at 6.
Wow.
But that's not every week.
Yeah.
But they happen.
And then when you come home, that's when you just say, you know what, I've had enough of this. I don't want to start cooking, preparing. I'm going to make a grilled cheese or
say hi to the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Play with the dog on the floor, and then it's
you pass out.
Throw on some Netflix and pass out.
It's a lot of work.
It is, but it's fun. It's a passion of love. I have some great apprentices starting at Kingsbrae right now, and I'm constantly walking by them going, seriously, this is what you want to do? Like, shit, go. Just
yeah,
stop.
I just saw a celebrity chef somewhere. I forget who it was. Celebrity is the new coined phrase, but he was talking about their child. One of the children wants to get into it, and he was just saying, I don't know why they would want to do this. I think you're driven.
You're driven. It's a special type of passion. It's a special type of love. You're willing to deal with physical and mental punishments that are pretty hard to deal with sometimes. But it's at the end of the day, it's when you execute that function or execute that dish or just execute just a good service. You look back at your team and look at your sous, or you look at your front house manager, and it's just like, we nailed it.
So there's this real satisfaction.
It's a satisfaction, and it's another family you work and live with every day. I spend more time with my sous chef than I do with the rest of my family.
Right.
So like when you end on a good note with essentially a brother, it's fun. There's that camaraderie, and you're excited.
Yeah. Now, years ago, I read this book called Kitchen Confidential by Anthony Bourdain. So
Absolutely.
You know it. You're aware of it. So is that what it's like? Are there knives and all sorts of bravado and that type of thing going on? Is it quite that ugly?
It's there's knives. There can be blood. There can be burns. There can be, but the kitchens have calmed down a lot since the 80s. It's definitely not that way, but there's definitely it's definitely a lifestyle. There's chefs are definitely a little wild. They're definitely a little more willing to just go out on the edge. But for the most part, it's not like Anthony Bourdain portrays at all.
Because I was thinking, I was thinking at one. I love food and I love cooking, and I have nowhere near anybody's talent. I mean, this is just sort of a home thing, and it's fun. And I'm such a baby. I couldn't stand. I cut myself. I'm gone. But I remember reading this book, and I actually we took a trip to New York, to the Hudson Valley, and I had to go to the CIA, Culinary Institute of America, because I knew he went there, and I thought, this is like, such a haven of amazing chefs. But I read that, and I thought, man, this is a really frightening business. And he put thoughts in my mind that I had never even occurred to me.
Right.
That it was just this, a dog-eat-dog revolving door of madness.
It's calmed down in a lot of ways. You do see some people trying to get ahead, and they'll try to screw over another apprentice if they're both coming up at the same time, so they're looking more prominent. But for the most part, the proper kitchens, the good kitchens, everyone's a team, everyone's a family,
right?
And you all get along. It's the screaming chef. Not to say if any of my kitchen members are watching that I don't have a bit of a temper from time to time.
We have a phone number we can give and have them call in.
But it's the heat of the moment kind of thing. But the screaming, pan throwing, knife throwing chef, that's no longer. It's really, you're a family, you're a team, and you have one job to do together and do together as a team.
Yeah. No, and I've eaten at Kingsbrae Garden, and the food is phenomenal, top
Thank
notch.
you.
I mean, just incredible.
Thank you.
And your presentation. Now you're big on presentation.
I am with the cafe. It's a cafe. We put out really proper bistro style food. So it's classic recipes and with local ingredients, and yeah, we're feeding the public and just really making people happy. Where we really focus is savor in the garden, and that's where we really focus on our presentation, and that's where we get artsy, and that's where we play presentation, and you're talking about shapes, color contrasts, flavor profiles, and we sit down and we develop a menu on paper before we even really even think about typing the menu.
So it's sort of like you're doing a storyboard for a movie, right?
Well,
I mean, maybe that's a bit presumptuous, but
maybe I've never done a storyboard from a movie, but I just know that when we do, it's usually my sous chef and I, and we just sit down and like just this past weekend, we sat down and we're just back and forth with ideas, and then we come up and construct this menu idea. And yeah, the other night, a couple courses were awesome. Couple needed some work. Sometimes you don't always knock it out of the park, but that's kind of what happens when you change the menu almost every night.
But when you're doing something like, you know, the thing with the flowers and the little bits of sauces and the things I don't even know words for, but is that it's like that has to be pre-planned. You're not just doing it. Or are you? Maybe you are. Maybe you're.
You know what? There's a lot of times that we've just gone to the plate, and it's like we've got no idea how we haven't thought about it enough. We've been in a rush. It's just trying to get service executed, and we haven't pre-planned because we've been worried about breakfast and lunch. And then all of a sudden it's savor, and then we go to the plate, and it's just let's do this, let's do that, and it's just like holy, wow, it worked.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do that, and it's like. Didn't work.
Right.
Pre-planning you want to do, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's just the nature of the beast in the industry that you run out of time. There's only so many hours in a day, and you're feeding so many people that.
And the consistency is incredible. So that plate after plate looks the same.
That's
part.
That's part of it. That's consistency in flavor and consistency in presentation is ground level cookery.
Right.
You have to nail those two things to continue on with a successful restaurant.
Okay. Now, if anybody wants to call in and ask anything to Alex Haun, any questions about cooking or the restaurant, 1-855-529-8826. We'll be talking for a few more minutes, and then Alex and I are going to go over to the kitchen, and I'm going to show him a thing or two about cooking. Well, probably not. You know what? I'm just a blowhard. That's all. Just full of hot air. I think you could show me a lot of things. So now, how long were you in Italy? We'll just go back to Italy for a minute. How long were you there for?
Each time I've been over, it's been between about 7 and 14 days. And the first time I went over, I think it was 10 days, and my last time it was 14 days.
Now, I got to ask you a question. Tomato sauce. How do you make a tomato sauce?
That's a tough one.
I know, because everybody over there makes it different.
Every area of Italy I traveled to, tomato sauce was taken. It was done completely different. But there was one lady in Genoa, Fabiana, that taught me. Everybody else, they'd open up cans or they'd roast the tomatoes or do this, and she was very simplistic. She would just crush her garlic with the skin on. Throw it in some warm olive oil, start to saute, and then she'd just crush her tomatoes, throw them in, and then slowly simmer. Then take out the garlic, add a little tomato paste, add a little white wine, lots of basil,
Yeah.
and then she would just puree it with a little burr mixer or hand blender, and salt and light on the pepper. And depending on the acidity of the tomatoes, but because she was using fresh tomatoes, sugar really wasn't needed, and it was the best sauce I'd ever had. And I love the fact that it wasn't out of a can. It was using fresh tomatoes, but depending on the time of year, I get it. Using canned tomatoes might be a necessity.
Right.
But I think that to me was the best tomato sauce I've ever had.
See, I've tried different kinds, and some of them are more like a fresh, like a puttanesca,
Right.
and then some are the longer cooked and all that. But it's sort of in a way, everything I do ends up tasting the same.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Oh, you have your base ingredients. I don't know, like, you're going to hit the same flavor profiles. It's going to come down to consistency. I don't know if they'd all taste the same. Personally, for me, I would be able to. I think I'd be able to pick out some differences. I know if I use a canned tomato sauce or a canned tomatoes and make a sauce from that, it's a difference. Or if I roast the tomatoes fresh, I can taste a difference. But for me, it's the lightness and the freshness.
Right.
And just the simplicity of the dish that really allows the tomato and the garlic and basil and olive oil really to speak, and that's where you can really make a sauce that can elevate the next dish.
Big fan of risotto?
I used to be. I really used
something
to.
happened.
I went to Italy.
And nobody was making it?
No, people were making it, and I loved it. When I went to Milan, I went to Milan for the sole purpose of risotto Milanese, which is a saffron-based risotto with a chicken stock with saffron and then bone marrow in it, and it was phenomenal. It was great, but I think I built up in culinary school in my entire life that risotto was the be-all, end-all. It was one of my favorite dishes, and I made it wrong for so many years with cream and more of a French style.
Right.
And then when I went there, it was amazing, but still wasn't. I think I just put it too much on a pedestal, personally.
Right. So now you sort of backed away from it.
I kind of backed away. If I'm doing anything with arborio rice, which is the rice you make with risotto, it's arancini. And
Right.
arancini is the little fried
The little
rice
fried
balls with
balls,
little
yeah.
bocconcini in. Now that's amazing. But yeah, I think I kind of stepped back away from my love of risotto, and that could change in years. Flavors always change. Your love of certain dishes change.
Now, I don't want to put you on the spot, but is there any food or flavor you're not particularly fussy on?
Bananas.
Bananas. You
Yeah.
know what? Thank you.
I think they're the most.
They're disgusting.
They're disgusting.
Thank you.
I guess.
I hate bananas.
I guess if family is watching, they know I ate so many as a kid.
Right.
And now I've been the smell of them.
It's nauseating.
It is. It's
Yeah.
nauseating.
You know what? You come to my house, we got like 3 dozen bananas on the counter. And my wife and my mother-in-law are eating them. And I said, geez, you want a banana? And I'm not, keep that. It's pasty, flavorless, and horrible. Anyway, on that note, we're going to take a quick break. And then Chef Haun's going to go over there in the kitchen and we're going to make a banana-free Italian dish. You're watching Rob Patry Live. Thanks. All right, are we on, Patrick? We're on. All right, so you're on with Rob Patry Live, and tonight, look, he's already working. He's not even talking to me. He says, you know what? Oh, geez, I just got a blast of garlic. So
Isn't that great?
It's amazing. Okay, so here's Chef Alex Haun, and he's going to take us through some kind of dish.
So for just the setup we've got here, I think a simple dish and simple ingredients, and that speaks volumes to about Italian cuisine. We're going to go with a Genovese and pesto.
Okay.
And this would be the basil, like we talked about earlier. We
Right.
grow in the restaurant, grow in the gardens rather for the restaurant.
Yes.
And we're going to make a pesto utilizing this basil.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do you mind pitching in?
Absolutely.
Perfect. So we have a mortar and pestle here.
Okay.
So I've split some garlic.
Okay.
This is great New Brunswick local garlic.
Okay, now what did you just take out of the garlic?
I'm taking out the center. So this little green area
Yeah.
really becomes bitter in a dish.
You're right. So that's why, but why didn't I think to take it out?
I'm not.
See, what kids you didn't tell me to, that's why. Okay, so am I supposed to do something here?
Yeah. So what I'm going to get you to do is I'm going to throw some salt in there.
Okay.
And I'm going to get you just to kind of mash it up and move it around.
Okay.
And then I'm going to slowly pass you some ingredients, and I'm going to teach you how to make a proper pesto.
You know what? This is going to be a horrible mistake, I'm sure. I can tell already. I have the strength of a 90-year-old man. So I'm doing the best I can. You carry on, Chef.
All right.
I won't let you down. I won't let you down.
No worries.
Well, yeah, I might. You know what? I'll let you do it.
Yeah, okay.
You show me how it's other professionals do it. You know, that's the type of thing I get my wife to do at home. Now, what do you think of those things where you put the garlic in the thing and you squeeze
Garlic
it?
press?
Yeah, don't say anything bad.
Okay,
I use it
you know,
all the-
you've read Kitchen Confidential with
Yes,
Nathan Bourdain, so
yes.
if you've read what he said,
Okay,
I have to
you
second.
concur.
I concur,
All right.
absolutely.
Everybody's a critic. See, I don't have time for this kind of thing. Gee, look at what you're doing.
See, you're starting to get a
it's
nice
like you're
little
making
paste
like a
going.
garlic paste.
That's right, and you want to get that garlic paste going. First, I'm going to add a little more salt to help break down that garlic.
Is that what the salt does?
The salt helps break down the garlic, and the salt draws the moisture out of the garlic.
Now, is this? Yeah, I should let you finish. Sorry.
No, that was the end.
Now, what's the difference? Is this kosher salt, sea salt?
I am actually using Bay of Fundy sea salt.
No, really?
Really? So we have a couple producers.
Really? I didn't even know that existed.
It does exist. There's 3 or 4 producers around the Bay of Fundy that produce an amazing Bay of Fundy sea salt.
Really? So is that what you use all the time?
Most of the time, for day-to-day seasonings, it is a little more expensive, so we have to watch costs in the restaurant.
Right.
So we use a good quality, like
Right.
you mentioned, kosher salt.
Yeah.
But when we're really focusing on a really high-end dish like this, we really like to utilize some local ingredients. So
Okay.
next, I'm going to add some pine nuts,
Okay.
and we're just going to mash those up and make a little bit of a paste. And at this point, this is when it can get a little dry.
Right.
So the incorporation of a good quality extra virgin is key.
Okay. Oh yeah, I could never do this. Man, it smells amazing.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like unbelievable.
No, just wait.
We
There's-
haven't worked with the basil yet.
That's right.
Basil. Sorry. So now I don't remember what I'm supposed to say. Basil, basil.
Basil. You had me. You had me.
right.
Yeah, I switched up.
Now, when you're in the restaurant, you make like a ton of this, do you?
We do. We try to make it at least once a week,
Okay.
and sometimes a little more if we're going through it faster.
Right.
This will, if you make it properly, does have a shelf life about 6 to 7 days.
Okay, so that's pretty good. Now, what's this thing made of? Stone?
This one's granite.
Granite.
If you're in Italy, you only use marble.
Marble.
All right, so now I'm gonna add a little more olive oil, a little more salt, and now that smell you were talking about, the aroma through the whole studio earlier,
Wow.
is that basil.
That's beautiful.
So I'm gonna take my
Look at
first
this.
handful.
Look at that. That's amazing. So this is very much a technique, right?
This is a technique, absolutely.
And did you learn this in Italy?
I did.
In Genoa?
In Genoa, and this is where it's most famous for. The Genovese pesto is famous. In Genoa, they have a certain type of soil, the right altitude and sun structure that creates the best basil.
Oh, did you have that salami of theirs?
See, you know, the thing is, when you're there, like Genoa salami that you see in the stores,
Right.
you don't see it there as Genoa salami.
Right.
It's just salami, and there's so many different various types
Right.
and varieties that
Do you like salami?
I do. A proper dry cured salami is absolutely amazing.
Did you have pizza?
Absolutely.
Nice. Was it good?
It was really good. Yeah, absolutely.
So was it like that? What kind of dough was it?
Usually a semolina flour with 00 flour.
Right.
And very thin crust, simple ingredients.
Any pineapple? That's a joke. Don't
No,
you-
I know,
No, you
no,
look
I
like
know.
you want to pull the knife on me. I'm
No, I was
kidding. I'm kidding.
I was doing the Gordon Ramsay look.
Yeah, I know. That's right.
Is pineapple acceptable on
Yeah,
pizza?
you can have
Absolutely
this
not.
very intense, frightening look. An old guy like me could have a heart attack. You give me that look. Okay, no, I was kidding about the pineapple.
No, I was joking.
Sorry.
No, for me, a proper...
The proper pizza does not have pineapple on it.
No, it does not.
Okay. So grilled chicken is definitely out of the picture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Pulled pork, that type of thing. Oh man, it's like magic.
All right, so now we've got, it's starting to get nice and beat down.
You wanted me to do all this?
Yeah, I know, it's starting to get warm in here now. So I'm gonna add in some cheese, so we're gonna go with some Reggiano.
Okay.
I'm only gonna add a little bit, and then some pecorino. And a little more olive oil.
A pecorino means sheep, correct?
Pecorino Romano is a sheep's cheese. It's a hard sheep's cheese.
Right.
And very sharp, little salty. It's absolutely delicious.
How would you put that on pizza?
I would, personally.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. Don't you ever get tired of doing this?
I am getting a little tired right now. Normally we would...
You'd have somebody do this for you.
No, we would use a robo
machine.
at the restaurant, but that's no problem.
This is like old school.
This is the old school way to do it, absolutely. All right, so...
So over here we got water going.
We have water going, absolutely. We have some salted hot water.
Okay.
And we're going to build our dish from there.
Okay.
Just gonna grab a couple ingredients.
Man, I'll tell you folks at home, this smells amazing. If I could push this smell through the camera or the micro, where would I push this? The microphone or the camera? One of the two, maybe both, maybe neither. You would just be amazed at how great it smells. Just unbelievable. He hasn't even started. It's just beginning. And you said the garlic is from New Brunswick.
The garlic is from New Brunswick. It is from Sussex, from a local farmer. One of the big things you see at the grocery store is the amount of Chinese garlic used. And
Yes.
It's unfortunate because we do have some really great garlic farmers here in this province.
And I mean, is it a cost thing? Is that why people are buying it from China?
I imagine it's a cost, it's supply and demand. It's just easier to buy it in larger bulk from China.
Now, you guys don't grow garlic at Kingsbrae.
Right now, we're not growing garlic, but we have numerous suppliers around us that.
You know what that looks just like? Pesto sauce.
I hope it does.
It does. Well, but I mean, I'm sort of not focusing completely on the bowl, and every time I look, it's more and more like a pesto. You know, that thing looks like half a bowling ball. Just an observation.
It really is almost a bowling
I
ball.
guess it is. Yeah, see, if I was doing this, I'd need a nap after.
It is a little bit of a workout because what you're trying to do is you're trying to rub any of the product against the grains of the marble.
Right.
Well, marble
Granite.
normally, but granite in this one.
Right.
And just make that perfect little paste, because that paste is going to be so important when we go to make our pasta dish.
Right.
All right. So I'm going to set this to the side. Just tidy up a pinch.
Okay.
Set our bowls out.
Glass of wine.
A glass of wine. I think, I don't know if you would mind.
Oh, I don't.
Little Mission Hill 5 Vineyards Pinot Grigio. This is
Okanagan from BC.
absolutely. It pairs beautifully with this dish, and this is one of our house wines at the restaurant.
Nice. I love that you really focus on local ingredients, local foods, local wines. I think that's fantastic.
Well, it's so
Is it-
important.
It is.
There are some ingredients that Sorry to be talking behind your back.
Oh, that's okay. Most people do.
There are some ingredients that you just need to bring in from elsewhere,
Right.
but there's so many others that you really want to focus on. And I think the Canadian wine industry is one that in restaurants that showcasing what we have for Canadian wine, it's important.
It's important. Now, I got to ask you something, because the last time we were at the restaurant, it was a tapas night. And we had a wonderful evening. Just incredible. Tapas galore. And one of the things we had, I believe, was octopus.
That's right.
Where does that, now, you see, I'm completely ignorant. Where does I know it comes from the ocean, but
it does come from the ocean. We do have an Atlantic octopus here that's used. That octopus was supplied by Chef Pennell.
Okay.
Chop Canada winner from Food Network Canada, chef of the Moncton Coliseum, and that was our kind of dueling plate. We did sucker and
okay.
Yeah, so that was sucker and belly. So Chef Pennell did the octopus, and I did the belly part. So it was pork and braised pork belly.
And I'll tell you, I could eat that pork belly all day long. I could just sit there and eat a pile of it. But so the octopus was amazing too.
Just gonna sneak by.
Yeah, sure. It was very tender. So it does come from just local. It's local octopus.
It was local octopus. He sourced it out of Moncton, and I believe it came from some Nova Scotia fishermen.
Do we have calamari here?
We do have calamari. Once they start running, take a flashlight off the end of the wharf, and
I'll see them.
And you can not just see them, you can catch them.
Really?
Really.
I just put my hand in and grab.
Well,
them.
no, you need a calamari hook on a rod, and but yeah, in the
there's actually a calamari hook.
Well, there's a squid hook. It's called, and
oh yes, Stompin' Tom's got a song called "Squid Jig and Grins."
I'm sure he does.
I just thought of that. You know what? But see, when I think of squid, I always think of Europe and Italy and Portugal.
Right.
I never think of it being local. Well, what do you got here?
So these are our pasta sheets.
Okay.
We make our pasta fresh at the restaurant.
Okay.
So this is a semolina dough. And these are our silk handkerchiefs. So they're essentially just little square sheets of lasagna, and I'm gonna blanch them off, and I'm gonna toss it with our pasta, and I'm gonna present the dish for you. And
awesome.
Hope you enjoy it.
I thought you were gonna say, hope I approve.
Hope you approve.
Yeah.
Well, that too.
Oh, you know I will. Okay, so you guys make fresh pasta all the time.
We do make fresh pasta. We this morning after we had the pig. Sorry, I'm again talking behind you.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Maybe I should get out of the way here so people can see.
This morning, right after we put the pig to bed, if you want to call it, so to speak, myself and my junior sous chef we were making pasta by 6:30, and we took over the whole kitchen and had a little pasta making party.
Nice. And you started the pig at 5:30.
5:30 I was up. By 6 the pig was on.
Right.
But yeah.
And how long did he take to cook?
He was a couple hours. He was by about 3 o'clock. He was fully cooked. And what we do is we just cooked part of him the day before. So when guests were arriving, that we had.
Now, how do you par cook a pig? Are these secrets I shouldn't ask about?
We fully cooked him. So we took, let's say, his little brother and braised out half of his little brother. And had him ready.
That's kind of creepy. So now, when you get where's the pig come from?
We have a couple different suppliers. We use Stewart's in Penfield.
Right.
And he sources pigs out of Sussex for us.
Okay.
So the trick with pasta.
Okay, now I gotta stop. How do you do that? How do you put your hand on pasta that's been in boiling water? You have no feeling at all, do you?
We have no feeling. It's
you emotionless man.
You've kind of burnt your fingers enough that it's.
Geez, I need a trivet and a glove and a mitt. You probably never use any of that stuff.
No.
I'll have to have you come over to my kitchen sometime. I'll show you how to really cook.
I'd love to. It'd be a blast.
Yeah, oh yeah. You'd be out of there running faster than you will by the end of tonight.
So this is one of the biggest things with cooking with Italian. There's no cream in your dishes.
Right.
It's very rare if you do see it. You use your pasta water
right
as your sauce. So we just want to add a little bit of that pasta
Because there's
water.
starch in there, right?
There's starch in there, and it's going to help just make this whole dish a little creamy.
Silky, if you will.
Silky, exactly.
Man, does that smell good.
You smell?
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's good. We'll give you one more. Now,
So these are called handkerchiefs?
this is called silk handkerchiefs,
Okay.
and this has to be, without
Can
a
we
doubt.
see all this, Doug? I'm just going to tell, we're just going to put a bit of cheese. Can you see that?
That's
Wow.
Cheers.
Beautiful. Cheers. Thank
Salute.
you so much. Salute. Oh, man. Oh, that's a lovely wine. So do we get to taste this?
well,
or-
I hope so. There's a napkin for you, sir.
Thank you. So now if I have you come over every Sunday, because what I'm thinking is, this way you could cook me dinner every Sunday night.
Hey,
You'd love it,
I'd be
right?
happy to.
All right, I'm going to try a piece right here with all this sauce. Oh my God. Should I kiss you or, you know, in Italy, that's okay to do. You just don't want to be kissed on both cheeks.
On both
then you're a
cheeks,
dead
yeah.
man. That's beautiful, Chef.
Thank you.
Cheese. I mean, a perfect blend.
It's a perfect blend and it's a perfect balance. You're taking a fresh semolina pasta, 00 flour, a little egg, a little olive oil, rolled out on at a thin level, cut into sheets, and then you're talking just some basil, garlic, pine nuts, some cheese, and salt, and there you have it. A little cracked pepper if you like it. I have. That's the only other incorporation to the dish, but really that's it. It's just a couple simple ingredients, and anybody can make this.
Now, what's amazing in what you said to me before, and I agree completely with you, the more simple the dish, really, you focus on just the few ingredients rather than multiple and multiple and multiple ones.
And that's right. I think the beauty of Italian cuisine is you're taking a simplified amount of ingredients, but you're using the highest quality ingredients you can possibly find, and that translates to a plate that is just really, it's just amazing.
That is phenomenal. All right, we're going to take a break on Rob Patry Live. We were here with Chef Alex Haun, who just made the most phenomenal pesto Genovese
Pesto Genovese silk handkerchief.
I've ever had. Silk handkerchief, beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
We'll be
much.
right back. Oh, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, back on Rob Patry Live. Man, that's Chef Alex Haun. He's amazing. What he did in that little mortar and pestle granite bowl was pure magic. So we're going to chat a little bit more with Chef Alex here. Mike, you're not Chef Alex.
I am not. No.
It's my old nemesis, Brad Henderson. What are you?
nemesis is back.
What are you doing? How'd you get?
You said come
Patrick, security. Call
back. You
security.
said come back anytime.
I had I never did I? Oh, so you took me literally. So, and who are these young boys?
What? So this is Seth McMillan, lives in my
McMillan.
neighborhood.
Okay.
And this is my son, Hunter Henderson.
Hunter Henderson.
And
I
they-
think we've bumped into each other a
I
couple
think
of
you
times.
have at Kingsbrae probably, eh,
Yeah.
buddy? And they wanted to come to remind people to vote for St. Andrews by the Sea for
Right.
best destination in Canada. So USA Today and their travel writers has nominated St. Andrews as one of the top 20 locations in Canada. and they hid the leaderboard, but when they hid the leaderboard, St. Andrews was in first place.
Right.
And people can vote tonight
Okay.
and tomorrow until 1. So people can get 2 different votes in between now and tomorrow.
That's why I had you on, but somebody was saying on Facebook, oh, there were just a few hours left of voting, and then I got all panicky. But you've got till tomorrow to vote.
Got till tomorrow till 1 p.m.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's pressing and urgent that you're here to tell people, to
It is.
remind them.
We certainly appreciate the opportunity. It's certainly been a community effort, not just the community, a region. We're competing against cities and towns that populations are significantly bigger, over 200,000 people. And here we are under 1,900,
Right.
and we're first in voting. And it is the spirit of the region. A lot of places, they vote once and done, but a lot of people in our community are voting over and over, and that's what's making the difference.
Great. Now, Seth, you're the one that wanted to be on TV, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, now, why did you want to be on TV? No real reason. You must have a reason.
Might start a career, right?
Yeah.
Maybe take over the Rob Patry show when he retires.
Who's your favorite TV star?
You.
Thank you. Thank you. Give this boy a gift of some kind. I think we'll get you a CHCO hat for both of you.
Ooh.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Seth. I appreciate that. And, sorry, your name again is?
Hunter.
Hunter. That's what I thought. Now, Hunter, what do you like your dad? Is he a good fella to you? You know, what's today?
My yaya came over. She lives in Cape Breton.
Yes. But what is today? Is today a special kind of day?
Kind of.
How so?
Father's Day.
It's Father's Day. And what did you do for your dad?
I gave him a spatula.
A spatula. Oh, good. So he can work at Chef Haun's kitchen, help him out a little bit, make him do something useful. Yeah, that's right. So what kind of a spatula, like to flip things or to stir things?
For the barbecue.
For the barbecue.
For the barbecue. Your dad a good barbecue man? Yeah. What do you like on the barbecue?
You usually just get bacon.
Bacon. See, another excellent answer. See, I like you. I like you and Chef Haun because you love bacon and Chef Haun hates bananas. So right here we got a fantastic trio. Seth, do you like bacon?
Yep.
What do you think of bananas? They're useless, aren't they? Terrible fruit. They're not even a fruit. I don't even know what they are. There's nothing like them. Don't even need them. Are they? Are they a vegetable? Patrick's trying to correct me and teach me about bananas. He's telling me they're full of potassium and they're good. I don't buy it. You know what? You can take supplements for that.
It's true.
I can take supplements and not have to worry about bananas. So are we going to win, fellas? Are we going to win the St. Andrews contest?
Yes.
We're going to beat everyone else, aren't we?
Yeah.
Because there's nowhere like St. Andrews.
That's right. It is the best destination, isn't it? But people have to help. Everyone has to go tonight and vote, and tomorrow as well.
Yeah,
It's a close race.
Yeah, don't assume that we're going to win. I'm getting all these voices and commands and things in my ear. I don't know what the heck's going on. So have you guys voted? Are you allowed to vote?
You're allowed to vote. Yeah, you've helped. You've clicked.
You didn't sneak away and vote for someone else when Dad wasn't looking. No. What does your dad do for a living?
He works at Kingsbrae.
What does he do there?
He goes up in his office and makes money.
He goes up in his office and he makes money.
Not enough though, eh, buddy?
Is that all he does? No, is he stealing money from people? No, he's not. He's a fair man.
That's a good answer.
He does office work, right?
That's a good answer, isn't it?
So he's not just up there sharpening pencils and things like that. No, he's a real go-getter. Seth, what does your dad do?
He's a firefighter and he works for the town.
Oh, he works for the town too. So he must know Brad, Mr. Henderson. Do you call him Brad or Henderson?
Brad.
Yeah, good for you. Well, I hear a lot of kids call him BH, but that's what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it does. BH, how's it going?
Yep.
So your dad was he on council or?
So, Public Works.
Yeah.
Public Works. So he helps keep the town as beautiful as it is, and that's the reason why we were a nominee, because of your dad's hard work.
It keeps everything ticking. All right, fellas. Well, this is almost the end of the show. Thank you for watching tonight. It was a fantastic show. Alex, can we get a shot of Alex? Just wave to everybody out. Yeah. Oh, I'm allowed to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Rob. It was an absolute pleasure.
You know what? You did great. You were fascinating. The food was incredible. No, I'm not being facetious. You know, I usually am, but tonight I'm not. Food was fantastic. You're just a very interesting gentleman, and you're a great chef, and I really, really appreciate having you on. Kingsbrae Garden is a fantastic place, fantastic restaurant, fantastic food. Get out there, have some food, and go for a walk in the garden. And don't forget, by what time?
1 p.m. tomorrow.
1 p.m. tomorrow. Is that Atlantic time?
I've converted it to Atlantic for you.
Okay, because I was going to say some Pacific time or something.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the problem. Atlantic time, make sure you vote for, can we get a shot of the website again right here that Seth has? There you go. Well, thank you very much, Seth. Thank you very much, Hunter. You guys did fantastic. In spite of your dad, you did a good job. I really appreciate it. You've been watching Rob Patry Live. Thank you very much, folks. We'll see you again next Sunday.